We know in esports, you are over a decade. XL Series has evolved alongside with gamers. We strive to make every product detail perfect so that you can perform at your best. Elevate your skill and maximize your potential with the ultimate gaming monitor. Zowie. Strive for perfection. Focus on winning.
지금 젠지 선수들이 촬영을 하고 있는 것 같은데 한번 가볼까요? 오늘 프로필 촬영 잘 하셨어요?
네.
저 인터뷰 하나 짧게 하려고 하는데
아, 네.
잠깐 같이 가실까요?
원래 이렇게 갑작스럽게?
아, 원래 이렇게 갑작스럽게 하는 거죠. 다른 분들도 다. 저게 누구죠? 디지털 선수가 여기서
아니, 어디
같이
가세요?
한번 가실까요?
아니, 어디를요?
같이 한번 인터뷰 하실래요?
저 껴주시면 좋죠.
같이
가시죠.
가시죠. 두 분 과거가 있으시잖아요.
과거가 있다는 건 무슨 말이지?
We're here with two Korean players from Begopa and Genji, and because I'm Korean and two players are Korean, I'm gonna do the interview in Korean. 정말 갑작스럽게 요청했는데 촬영해주셔서 정말 감사드리고요. 네, 정식으로 본인 소개 한번 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 배고파의 디주구팔입니다.
안녕하세요. 젠지 펍지 팀의 이노닉스입니다.
이렇게 두 분을 모시게 된 이유가 과거에 같은 팀에서 몸을 담았던 기억이 있어서 이렇게 한번 모셔보게 됐는데 되게 오랜만에 보시죠?
공석에서는 오랜만에 보고 사석에서는 좀 봤고.
저 사실 은퇴를 하셨었는데 이렇게 다시 배고파로 도전을 한 거를 봤을 때 어땠어요? 동료로서, 친구로서.
보기 싫었나요?
그건 아닌데 있을 때 좀 잘하지. 나가니까 더 잘하니까 이게 약간.
그래도 팀에서 에이스였던 형들을 다 모아서 하다 보니까 조금 프로 할 때보다 좀 수월했던 것 같고.
본인도 에이스?
당연하죠.
그렇죠. 이노닉스 선수라고 하면은 되게 선수들의 선수 느낌도 있고 오늘만 해도 데이트에이드 선수가 이노닉스 꼭 만나보고 싶다고.
ก็มีปิโออินโนนิครับ
I love Inonix personally. He's my favorite player.
근데 이노닉스가 보고 싶은 선수는?
저는 이제 패트릭 포로즈의
엑스레프트?
엑스레프트 선수.
아직 못 만났어요?
오늘 아침에 봐서 같이 사진도 찍고 나왔을 때 개나이 테이프 포토하면서 이제 한 장 찍고 왔습니다.
이렇게 선수로서는 진짜 좀 인정받는 선수지만 뭔가 좀 글로벌 대회에서의 성적이 조금 아쉬울 것 같아요.
19년도에 PGC 못 간 게
제가 그 자리에 있었죠.
그때 못 간 게 좀 아쉬웠던 것 같아요. 본의 아니게 좀 긴장을 좀 하는 것 같기도 하고.
우승 경험 있으시잖아요. 긴장을 푸는 법 한번 좀.
사람들의 이제 관심을 이제 원하게 되면은 환호성 들으면 막 너무 잘하나? 사실
그런 느낌?
좀 삐를 타는 살짝 그런 느낌.
그러면 이번에는 할 수 있겠다. 제가 두 번 나갔는데 두 번 다 무관중이었거든요.
저 이번에는 저희 그랜드 파이널 가게 되시면 관중의 환호성을 느끼면 조금 더 이번 PGC 때는 잘할 수 있겠다 이런 느낌이
확실히
있어요.
아드레날린이 많이 분비되는 것 같긴 해요. 게임에 영향이 갈 것 같긴 해요, 지금.
이번 PGC 이만은 가고
한국팀이 트로피를 올린 게 좀 오래됐기도 했고, 물론 제가 들진 않았지만 젠지 팀에서 이제 트로피를 들어봤기 때문에 느낌을 살려서 이번에는 저희 한국팀이 트로피를 들 수 있게끔 노력 많이 하겠습니다.
저희가 이렇게 4가지 키워드를 준비했는데요.
사운드로 가겠습니다.
이거는 아주 잠깐
예.
팍스까지 들어보시면 알 거예요.
너무 쉽다.
어려울 것 같아.
플레이하겠습니다.
안 들려요? 안 들려요?
몇 번 있는
계속 나오는데?
아, 이거 아마 베릴의 소음기? 맞아요?
아닙니다.
뭐야? 이거 아니야? 아니,
이노닉 선수 한번 들어보실래요?
아 들어만 봐.
뭐? 잠깐만. 베릴 소음기가 아니라고?
이거 못 들었다고?
예?
아니 이거 못 들어볼 리가 없잖아.
이거 뭐지? 엄프 소음기?
아닙니다.
에이스 소음기? 뭐예요?
아니 어떻게 된 거야?
예?
최초로 못 맞추시는 분이 나오나요?
뭐예요?
정답은요. 토미건 소음기요. 그걸 들어본 거 맞지? 이제 알고는 들으니까 들리죠.
일단 넘어가 보실까요?
이미지로 가 있어. 아, 진짜 너무
봐봐요. 이럴 줄 알았다고요.
제가 다른 걸로 바꿀 기회 드리겠습니다. 아 진짜 너무 쉬워요 이거.
이게 맨날 볼 텐데.
아 이거 너무 쉬워요.
아니, 저희 어머니도 알아요, 이거. 진짜로.
한 번 더 기회 드리겠습니다.
문제 내겠어요.
여기가 어디냐? 진짜 쉽긴 하다.
모른 척 하면
모르죠. 이거 어디지? 여기 거기잖아. 미야마의 거긴데.
드리겠습니다.
혹시 기회 한 번밖에 없나요?
네.
그럼 한 번에 맞추겠습니다. 라벤디타. 와!
최초 탈락자가 나오게 돼서 좀 유감스럽긴 한데요. 이노닉스 선수에게는 선물 증정식이 원하시는 거 하나를 고르시면 됩니다.
이건 열쇠인데? 아 이거 키링이야. 저리가. 이거는 딱 보니까 이거 축구공인데? 카타르 월드컵 알려주는 거 아니에요? 이거 아닌 것 같아. 이건 뭐지? 이거 그거다. 이거 두바이에서 제일 높은 그거. 이걸로 하겠습니다.
네, 그러면 MC의 권한으로
네.
디지거펠 선수 하나 드리기 위해서 이노닉스 선수가 골라주는 걸로 합시다.
그러면
뭐해?
아까 봤더니 수건 같은 걸로 하겠습니다.
싫어. 당신 보이죠?
다른 걸로 해드려요?
뭐냐고.
안 보여요, 안 보여.
다른 거 해주세요.
다른 거 해줘요?
한번 다른 거 해주세요.
이걸로 해야겠다. 요거요.
안대를 벗어주세요. 스노우볼.
야, 이거 근데 괜찮다. 근데 이건 뭐야?
이거 실사로 주는 거예요?
아름답게 이제 선물 나눠 가진 걸로 하고 PGC 2022
젠지,
배고파?
화이팅! 고생했습니다.
Next up, vehicles in Erangel and Miramar are getting a slight adjustment, with some spawning more and less frequently. You'll now find more UAZs and Dacias on Erangel, and more Murados and pickups on Miramar. To contrast, we've lowered the amount of boats, buggies, and aqua rails on Erangel. And speaking of maps, this update's rotation will now include Erangel, Miramar, Tago, and Destin for all regions. Regions with map select enabled will also have the option of playing on Sanaa, while regions without will instead drop into. As As usual, the ranked rotation will remain Erangel, Miramar, and Tago. This update also features a collaboration with one of the best footballers in the game, Neymar Jr. For a limited time, you can pick up several Neymar-themed items in the store. Gear up and score big. There's also a reduction in the number of multi-care packages on Tago, some MMR adjustments for normal games, new workshop skins, and more. So be sure to check out the patch notes for full details. Update 20.2 is here, so fold up your shield, pack up the Dacia, and go catch a ball game. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Luminosity, well, they've seen Tai Lu play their focus towards the south, and they're going to take the fight up towards them now. 4 in a car.
Throw the grenades down, but none of them are finding their mark as LG starting to push forward. Xiao Yang is going to find 1, he's going to find 2. Can he find 3? Give him either one that wins this, they can get the revive back on. Kurt's going to go down. Xiao Yang is still alive. Sia coming in big for Tai Lu.
If they can contain them for just a bit longer, they will be allowed to share.
They know they got to get out of there.
Out exactly. Instantly on the move now. Unfortunately, again. On the other side, Kretma just spraying on through, finds the first 2. Only 1 more to go until Luminosity will be down and out, and there you have it.
They will live to fight another day as Buriram. Somehow Hobbits is still alive and has put the work in to defend against this Buriram push. Now Edie the last one alive, but the reses have come through. He's going to find Dante.
He's joined the fight once more.
Finally, there we go. Edie will finally finish off, question mark. Tai Lu was able to kind of, that's CC 108 on top of things. Is now this compound is getting every team looking at it. 17 going to pull up. It's down to just Shawood as he is the last one alive. USG holding against the charge. And one wild card trying to push in as well. Korn going to get taken out by Waikikaluka, immediately traded back onto Nikos.
Yep. Shawood just trying to stay alive in his own goal with the nade in hand. She able
milled down to 1 HP as Gen G send it 4 deep in the vehicle. And look at Phil First has a grenade ready and waiting. Asura down to 1 HP. Phil First adds another one to his total as now out of the last one up. He's going to go down. Give Phil First the whole team.
Not having heard what's happening right next to him. Wood does get flushed. DPS proves too lethal. Shiva, nice angle. Doesn't seem initially. Gets him the second time round of damage already done. But now Luke 12 shooting. Finds the first. Doesn't find the second.
Oh my God, Luke 12!
And just like that, it's a 1v1. Luke has to come out. Spots
Luke 12!
him, and Luke wins the game.
sunshine. Remember that one guy and that one show with that one crime? Well, that's how I'm feeling now. I'm finna go make it killing now. That's how I'm living now. I'm finna bust through the roof right now. Got a handle on the game. Put a candle on my name. Never can put out the flame. Never cared about the fame. Asking my words is the time, yeah. They gotta change their mindset. You say we speaking the same language. Guess I ain't speaking your dialect. Already got it. Already got it. Already with it. Already with it. What is the hype about? The hype. Already did it. Already did it. Already seen it. Already seen it. Done. What is the hype about? The hype. We already won. Already won. Already got it. Already got it. Already with it. Already with it. What is the hype about? The hype. Already did it. Already did it. Already seen it. Already seen it. It's already done. Already done. What is the hype about? The hype. We already won. Already back to my ways. Back to my ways. Back to my ways. Back to my ways. Truth be told, I'm back to my ways. We're on road. Back to my ways. I'm back to my ways. Thought I was turning the page. I'm back to my ways. Back, prayer hands like Jesus. All praise the Most High. Look, I ain't talking about K2. Take your girl, I hate you. This right here, my prelude. I created this sound, all y'all buying, gotta call pay dues. They show me love when they see me. Don't really know if they mean it though. I know your man wanna be me, but now he would never admit it though. Why is your girl in my inbox? One text and I seal the deal. I hit her up when I'm faded. You better bet she know the deal. Already got it. Already got it. Already with it. What is the hype about? The hype. We already won. Already won. Already got it. Already got it. Already with it. Already with it. What is the hype about? The hype. Already did it. Already did it. Already seen it. Already seen it. It's already done. Already done. What is the hype about? The hype. We already won. Already.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. One more chance for all of these players to make their claim when it comes to the winners bracket. We have got ourselves quite the day worth of games. Once again, 5 games coming at you here to decide who's moving through to the winners bracket in Group B. My name's Kalaris. Joining me to my left-hand side, it's Avenger. I think I'll pronounce it right this time.
Great, thanks. I'm looking forward to that. You know, now that we have a few more days together, we'll get it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, some exciting days coming up. Today, we're going to find 8 more for the winner bracket and for the loser bracket. But also, few next days, 8 teams for the grand finals and the winner break. It's going to be super exciting. But first, got to figure out who's going to be joining United in the top, because right now they are looking fantastic. Already broke the 100-point club here with 5 games to go, which can be scary for a lot of the other teams right now sitting here that are maybe not as safe.
As was previously mentioned a few times, we did have to move today's games from the original Friday to now Monday here. So all of these teams looking to get this done and then move through into that winners bracket or the lower bracket, depending on where they finish. And we will see those top 8 teams be playing basically back-to-back here if they're going into that winners bracket. And I mean, to be honest, I'd like to go in warm. I think it would be great.
That's exactly. That's I've talked to a lot of the players and they're like that. There's obviously some pros and some cons. You're going in warm, but the other guys, they've had an immense time to prepare, looking at the games here and also prepare what are we looking at, what are we seeing, can we maybe get some sort of priority in terms of drops. Here the overview, of course, we've been talking about this, the top 8 from both winners brackets have been able to go through. We all know the first 8 teams, and now today we're going to be finding 8 more teams, the United guaranteed. We're going to be playing 3 Wrangle, 2 Miramar. And yes, that's going to be important. 3 Wrangle here to start things off with. So it has obviously a lot to say if you've been playing good on a Wrangle.
Yeah, we'll focus on those maps in a bit here as you see the overall standings. So far, so good for our top 8. However, the barrier to entry, really not that monumental here, Avenger. With 17 Gaming currently sat at 8th place. Can you imagine if 17 Gaming does not go through to the winners and we have SGT and 17 and Pachinki Picard?
There has been a lot of speculation between the teams if that would be the case.
that would just be so funny. But obviously, there's so many other teams that's already, you know, because they're ready to go back to the usual drop spot. They're already gone through, so they could just say, you know what, let's take Pubg or Picardo if we want to. But let's focus on our cusp here. 70 points for Luminosity, all the way down to 60 points for 17 Gaming. That's 5 teams that's kind of still on the cusp. Then we have BBL 3 points behind. Wildcard Gaming 4 points behind. Then we have a bit of a gap with 11 points down to Donut. And the rest of our bottom 5 that is kind of looking rough right now. 21 points plus behind for Buriam, Petrica Road, Polish Power, Gen G, and FaZe Clan.
Yeah, they'd have to have some pop-off day, it's fair to say. And some of them have been able to do so in the past. However, looking at their form right now, I don't think it's going to happen, Avenger.
But the other thing is that's really interesting is that you need to be able to have, you know, get the momentum started now, get some good games in now. Otherwise, your mental could be broken going into once either it's winner's bracket or loser's bracket, of course.
All right, let's focus on our first 3 games for the day then. It's Erangel, and to be perfectly honest, E-United 100% through here. Now they could start, in theory, messing with other people around them if they so desire, but I think they'll just probably play it normal, just continue kind of that streak that we've seen from them here, and just be nice and toasty for the next days.
Yeah, exactly. Here, Kickstart. Insane individual performance from him. 28 kills total, 21 of them on Erangel, and we're playing 3 of them today here. The second closest in total kills is CC108 from Tyloo with 19. He's 9 more kills than second place. It's insane.
Yeah, nuts stuff. And we saw here as well in the final game of yesterday with E-United just being able to claim Radio Tower, but they perfectly third-partied it. They perfectly put on pressure against all the other teams around them here, and this was signs of a team that genuinely could go all the way. When they're making these kinds of decisions, when they're able to fire the way they are, really cool stuff by United.
Yeah, and United, they were able to get 12.2 points per game on their 5 Erangels played so far, and they're playing 3 more today. Take Me Away have been able to get 9.8 on Erangel, but only 3.4 on Miramar. So Take Me Away, they are obviously really happy to see 3 Erangels today here, if that is what we're looking at in terms of their kind of focus here, because they've been struggling on Miramar.
Yesterday was not as strong for Take Me Away, right?
No, it was definitely not as strong here. We're looking kind of down on how well they've been able to form. Their day 1 was obviously their big one. The next on the line, I would say 17 Gaming is also 8.8. Fantastic Erangel performance, but only 3.2 points per game for Miramar. So if they end up being kind of on the cusp once we get into our last 2 games of the day, which will be Miramar, they could be having a rough time there if their performance on Miramar continues.
And dispatch them quite quickly in these games, figure things out. Even cheeky Bison's coming into play in some of these moments. I like that. Beyond that, though, Erangel, who else are you looking at?
Erangel, who else I'm looking at? I'm looking at also Luminosity, Tyloo. This is Miramar. Tyloo is good, but Luminosity have had some good performances. Also due to the fact we had a clutch situation from Luke, of course, but
it was amazing.
Good performance from him here. But Tyloo here in Miramar, and all good teams. Miramar have been able to perform super well. Tyloo, 12.4 actually, 2.2 more games than what a United has done, but on Miramar, and then 4.6 only on Erangel for Tyloo. So it's very kind of swapping around for them in terms of that. So they need to step up their Erangel game and hope for their Miramar performance to continue. Otherwise, you know, it doesn't matter too much. Otherwise, we're not going to see them in kind of contesting for that first. But right now, what I heard from yesterday, especially United, are like, how many points were up to kind of now the fight for. They're trying to hunt. They're trying to see how many points can they get. Can we be the best team out of the group stage? Can it be the best team in our group? So there's also a lot of fighting for that.
No, definitely. As we take a look at Miramar and hone down on that as well, it was 129 points, I believe, from Na'Vi. So if they want to break that, it's entirely possible considering how well United has done. But Tyloo, looking at them, I really like their macro decisions to be able to find themselves spots and then hold them down. They have looked really good in that regard. Likewise, I mean, on the day trade.
Yeah, so impressed with them.
Yeah, very impressive.
Really happy to see them step up and be able to hit 9 points per game, almost 10 points per game for day trade on Miramar. And obviously they're also sitting on 83 points total, so they are 100% safe to go into the winners bracket unless something completely breaks. And I don't think there's even enough points available for that many teams to pass them. So at this point, Tyloo and day trade both are through. Our top 3 is guaranteed because they're going to be getting, you know, their usual amount of at least minimum points. We're expecting to see them in the triple-digit mark in the 100-point club for the group stage. But yeah, the Miramar performance was great, especially the push here we saw the third party onto BBL and kind of closing that out, staying 4 guys alive through that with another record-breaking game or tie in terms of how many points you've been able to get from one game. So it's good to see from Daytrade, good to see they're able to convert their regional performance and how strong they look there into our global stage here.
Absolutely, because they did look spectacular. And speaking of spectacular, it's a guy like Kickstart with MVP performances. We've said it day in, day out when we've been looking at him. Ever since that first day of Group B, geez Louise, very much so on a lot of people's radar right now for a team that could potentially move on through. There's been other great MVP performances, of course, but...
I will say this, being both first in kills and damage obviously sometimes goes hand in hand.
Yes, yes.
The next closest in terms of damage is actually Luke 12 from Luminosity, which is around 500 damage behind. So
especially after that Erangel.
Yeah, it's an outstanding performance here for Kickstart, of course. And usually when you see a team frag out and be this far ahead, it's usually the assist king that's going to be coming in from one of your teammates because they've been able to do a lot of damage. So he's just basically Kickstarter, just been able to close out an insane amount of numbers when it comes to this. But Snakers here on screen was also able to support the team and put in a lot of damage. And right now, United, like one of the contenders and favorites for the World Championship here.
Yeah, if you've picked good old Kickstart for your fantasy league, you're going to be getting yourself plenty of points. Look at his, just playing around with the jewelry, you know, showing that he's a baller. That's fine. But let's take a look at those fantasy numbers and how they sit so far. Example, way up at the top.
Still played 15 games.
Yes.
But Kickstart on second.
Yeah, so he's going to be almost certainly taking
100%. Like, there's no serious chance he's not getting 6 points in that. But that's a pretty impressive performance. Who else do we have here? Shinboy looking good there too, of course. What else do we have?
You're looking for Group B players, right?
Looking for Group B players. I don't see anyone.
Not too many more just yet.
Besides, no.
We'll see the shake-up at the end of today.
Yeah, obviously we're going to check in on this again once everyone has played 50 games.
Cool, cool.
Look at that.
So far, oh dear me, Paper Thin took me over. I'll never hear the end of it.
Horror number 1, 110 points more. 110 points more. That is so impressive, but we're close still. 12 points difference here for you and I. And
well,
Paper now jumped in 2 points ahead. Your Group B team's in shambles, James.
That's one way to describe it, yeah. 3 of my players are in the bottom 3 teams. I've never had as bad a fantasy team as this.
Matrim is 212 points behind Thoro. That's kind of impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive.
Yeah.
Impressively bad.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Oh, well, yeah, Poro doing well for himself up towards the top. I mean, he did pick Kickstart, right? But
yes, Kickstart, and then he changed him to the captain, and now he didn't have him as captain on the first day, and he got mocked by Kickstart. Every time they had a great game, Kickstart took off the headset, yelled at Poro. You should have got me as captain, right, Poro? Oh, super fun. Good to see some bands here now that we're on land.
Yeah, no, great. Especially since we had so many fantasy teams as well. Yes. Over 10,000.
That's crazy.
Submitted for this. But we do have other things going on as well. The Pick'em Challenge that is in game. And again, just to reiterate, you don't have to pick your potential champion until just before that grand final. So that basically defends you from picking a team that isn't even in the grand final, for example.
Yeah, for sure. You can do whatever you want, but no matter what, go into the esports tab in game, check all the fun things you can do. There's obviously some voting coupons in there, but also the head-to-heads, the regional head-to-head, and it unlocks per stage as well. So now that we're soon going to be done with the day, go and make sure and you go in and check the winners brackets, the loser brackets, because there's going to be some more fun games with that.
We've talked about these things to death, Avenger. I want to know, do you believe the top 8 is going to change throughout the day?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, yes, it will, 100%. Yeah, because it's so close. I feel like BBL and Wildcard, they are so much on the cusp, and they've been feeling and looking pretty good to me. So I'm definitely sure that one of those 2 teams is going to be jumping up. The question is some of our bottom 6 teams going to be able to have a good first or second game and then kind of put them in of an opportunity or safe zone, or put them in the top 8. So the changes in the first couple of games is super interesting, of course. Big names still down there, big teams that we know have been able to perform on a global stage historically, but right now not showing. Let's see here in the bottom right now, Petrichor Road with 14.9% picked for the winners for PGC right now in the bottom 8 of Group B here, so it's looking super rough for them. It's going to be a rough one, and you need to have 1 or 2 good games a day to kind of break that mental. Make sure you get into some good games, and let's see what that's going to be happening also.
All right, well, let's see. Now it's time to get Erangel, the Grassy Pastures, on the way. Let's head over to the commentator team for all the action here from Erangel.
Thank you very much, boys. And yes, it is I, your fantasy points leader, Porosaurus. Joining me is Toby, and we are ready to bring you the final day of Group B. It has been the United show up until this point, Toby, but there's still a lot of teams that are vying for that 8th place spot.
It really has. Of course, United happy with it. The teams right behind them happy with it too, but all the teams in the bottom, desperate for points, have not been enjoying the United show thus far, because there are teams, as I said on the desk as well, that are in desperate need of things to go there here with 5 games to go.
Yeah, I mean, the United show has been a hell of a show, hasn't it? I mean, it's and then you throw in the Expendables, you throw in Day Trade, you throw in all these other teams that have just popped off, and now we've got 3 more games on Erangel, 2 more games on Miramar. Who kind of has stuck out for you on Erangel? Like, who are we expecting to maybe make a leap here in the first 3 games of the day?
I think if we go off of the finish of yesterday, 17 Gaming, the finish off for the 4th and the 2nd place. Again, if you want to get started eventually, now is about the time if you want to secure that winner's bracket spot. And I think there are a lot of teams both in this group and also in the winners from Group A already that are sitting going, 17, please don't qualify, because we kind of like that Pachinki-Picado split that you've got right now.
Oh my God, but aren't we hoping for that though? Secretly, don't we all want to see the SGD 17 Sonic?
The great thing is they're both teams in the winners and losers bracket that don't want 17 to come to them. So, but no, for me, 17 Gaming, they got 3 angles to turn things around today, and if the finish of yesterday is anything to go by, then could potentially be looking good for them.
Well, we'll have to see. We are getting ready to this. United has gotten 2 wins in each game so far. Do we expect that again today, now that they've got nothing else on the line?
It could happen. Having said that, some of the that they did come by, while they are phenomenal teams, the game also kind of went their way. But then again, I mean, that might just be the strat here. If you don't want it's going away, just sit close to United, you might get some circles going away.
Yeah, there we go. No worries, right? I know that, I mean, I didn't get a chance to talk to him before because I just never ran into him, but I was curious as to whether they might be fighting Burgeron for their Milta Power drop spot, but I don't think they will.
While I know there's so much on the line here, Paul, can I just tell you that this is the first time in all of Group B that we've had a plane that goes through North Georgia. Because we know that's the important thing to be talking about right now, right?
3 days in, we might finally get our hot drop between Polish Power and Tyloo.
Now would be the time, right, to hot drop the team currently sat up there in the top. That would be, that'd be something.
I gotta say, I'm not expecting.
Having said that, I mean, they haven't jumped. Usually Polish Power, their old jump would be towards the Pubg. They're not out. Tyloo out of the plane. Polish Power still sat in there. I would hope for Polish Power that this is a full commit Snarky, I should say, and I think that's where they are headed. So, a lot of things to talk over from yesterday. Of course, Tyloo, the hot drop onto FaZe Clan. That was a bit of a surprise to many.
Well, it was.
I think this time around not going to be the case. And as you kind of mentioned as well, United, there is a chance that they do not want to see Buram in the winners bracket. But, well, as for right now, no hot drops coming through.
To be fair, and not to be rude, but I don't think United really has to worry about Buram much. They're doing a pretty good job of keeping themselves up for the most part right now.
I did ask Kickstart, like, so are you guys going to hunt up Buram? So it's like, I think we're just relying on them to kind of screw themselves over. It's been going pretty well so far, so why do we have to risk anything?
Strategies.
Yeah, why do we have to do anything? And who knows? Maybe, I mean, again, Buram currently sat down in 12th place. It's not over and done for them just yet. And speaking of which, in times of desperation, in times of need, sometimes rotation, roster changes is needed. Got Meow, we've seen him play at the top level before, now playing instead of Chixing. So maybe, who knows, maybe God Meow is going to be able to contribute with what they needed.
Let's see if that's the little kick in the rear end that they need. So far, the circle has gone dead center, about 50-50 circle. It's about as plain as you're going to get. Well, while we wait and see what these guys do, let's take a listen into Zhao Yang and see what he had to say about Tyloo's performance.
很开心吧，差不多能确定晋级者组了。我们队员都有一个比较良好的心态吧，然后每一局就算是提前被淘汰了，也都不会去埋怨队友，反而相互鼓励，打好下一把。没有预想到飘柔和FaZe可能打得有点差了吧？我觉得可能是心态问题吧，就是可能是前2局打得不太够好了，然后可能会，然后心态出一些问题，导致不敢操作了，或者是之前能打出来的，之前的打法就没有实施好， 我觉得我们就是属于打的比之前预期要好的太多了。干掉痱子吧，继续在桥头干他。
We are going to hunt FaZe on the bridge. Now that is that is commitment again. Of course, we already saw them in action yesterday. And now, Xiaoyang, few shots missed. Unfortunate ones at that. Barrel against AK. Victorious! It's gonna be Onyx. So Tyloo, despite Xiaoyang wanting to go for the Honda, gonna be this game. Onyx stays alive. Unfortunate at that because, again, mentioning teams that desperately need things going their way. Gen G, definitely one of them.
Good thing he won that. He had about 7 rounds left in the gun there. So Onyx coming out on top. Will retreat, go rejoin the rest of his squad. I think he's just obviously poverty loot right now. I mean, no bullets, no heals, no nothing. So I think he's just. Tyloo says they want to hop out FaZe Clan, but why are they doing all the way in North George, Toby?
Well, I mean,
it's a long way away from the bridge, man.
To kind of quote them, they did say we want to kill them on the bridge. So
there are a lot of bridges.
I was gonna say, I mean, there's the North George Bridge. We got Melee. We got everything. I think they have their fair chances, and especially on Erangel, to kill FaZe on a bridge at some point. So who knows? Maybe if we get a Melee game, maybe if we get one more of those hot southern plane paths, we might get to see another Tyloo versus FaZe fight. Or, I mean, for FaZe Clan, who can't really afford these fights right now, maybe they're gonna be forced to go elsewhere.
Another team that had a great day yesterday off of the back of one of the craziest late games, end games I've seen in a long time. Luke 12 snaking his way to a 20-point victory for Luminosity and securing them 4th place. They're feeling pretty good about things going into today.
No doubt. I mean, think about it. They were sad. For one trade, no one benefiting.
There you go, 1-for-1 trade. It's
they swapped positions.
Indeed,
That's what they did.
Indeed, they did. And I mean, it's just off to the side. I mean, this is a strong position to have in this circle just because of the 50-50 nature. Now, that 2 teams, River and obviously still to the west, still have an option of there. But Wildcard has a really nice position around and Question yesterday, kind of starting things up on
this far center, rushing to get the spot. You know, they're occupied by looting in and around this area anyway. Shall loot the bridge while we're at it, then we'll make landfall eventually.
North, but they're very, very split up. They're not really camping or anything. They may run into each other. Take Me Away Gaming, after a day 1 from TMA, they just fell
in 5th place for them right now.
I expect them to be able to kind of, as you said, they're still in 6th, right? But that being said, it is very as far as that 8th place line, so they forward.